Welcome to our first Tribe Talk of the new school year, presented by Truist. Hello, everyone. This is Jay Colley, and we are looking forward to talking to coaches, student athletes, and special guests as we give you a closer look at all-in William & Mary athletics. Appropriately enough, the first guest is the head football coach at William & Mary, Mike London. He takes his team on the road this weekend, a tough opponent out of the ACC, UVA, a 7:30 kick. And first of all, Coach, thanks for taking some time with us on what I know is a very busy week.
Thanks for having me, Jay. It's good to be back and talking about football again.
Coach, I wanted to open up with a statement that really has not been honed in on, but I was very impressed with upwards of 70 of your players staying back this summer for voluntary workouts. That had to impress you and warm your heart to the leadership on this team.
Well, it does, and it did. It's a commitment that they had to get ready, to get bigger, faster, stronger. Your strength coach has a chance to be a significant factor in their development. And it was a commitment that they made, and it was exciting to see. And hopefully everything pays off, that you have an opportunity now to take all that early training, strength and conditioning, and take it into your training camp, which we did, and now take it into the season.
So did that help the coaches get further involved in training camp that just ended, honing more than skills and the ability to go hard, but actually, putting in some game type situations?
Probably the biggest thing that helped was with the acclimatization part of it, getting used to the heat, the importance of rest and recovery, all those types of things. You're not dealing with any academic issues, summer school, but you're dealing with just strictly training. And so what it was able to do when we got into training camp is guys being able to last a little longer in terms of standing, whatever the drill or whatever the reps or whatever it might have been. So it was, again, my hat goes off to Coach O'Mary, but also the leadership that said, if we want to be good, you have to make a kind of a dedicated and demonstrated effort in doing the things that you're going to do. And that's running, that's changing direction, that's lifting. And a lot of the guys bought into that and participated this summer.
Coach, you got a team full of guys that love the game of football. It's obvious. 5 captains, 4 of which were previous walk-ons of this program. What does that say about the attitude of your team?
Well, it talks about our team votes on the captain. So it's the demonstrated performance, not only when they're around here to Laycock Center or lifting, but when they're away from campus as well. The guys they want representing them in terms of what we talk about, what kind of student athletes we want, the profile. And when the players can vote on guys that have demonstrated that, then you feel good about, what you're talking about and what's important, what your culture is all about. And so very happy for the guys that were elected captains. They've done a great job. They continue to do it. They do it on the field. They do it in the classroom and obviously in the community as well. So we're looking forward for them having a chance to be successful on the field.
Let's talk about some of those young men that we'll be talking about this weekend at UVA. Bronson Yoder, he's got all CA accolades coming in to this year, and a guy like Nate Lynn on that defensive line. Talk to us about those young men. Yeah,
I just finished talking about Bronson, his selfless leadership style. I mean, he wants to play. He wants to help the team. He played some Wildcat quarterback in his early on in his career here. Was a defensive back, and now he's back at the running back position. We talk about ball in the hand opportunities. He's a guy that you can catch punts, you can catch kickoffs, as we all know, but you can hand the ball off to him too, and he's pretty good at doing that. So we're going to find ways to get the ball in his hand with jet sweeps, with bubble screens, all those types of things that can lend itself to his skill set. So he's excited about it, and so are we.
And Nate Lynn on that defensive line, a pretty good front three.
Nate has done a really good job of getting himself bigger, faster, stronger. He's very elusive. He can he can power rush. He can speed rush. there's so many things that he's done. Coach Carter has done a really good job of coaching and teaching him. He's versatile. He'll be on the field all the time. A lot of times you have guys that play first, second down, and you bring your nickel package in or a different set of rushers in. He's on the field all the time because he can play well against the run and rush the passer. So we're looking forward to his experience as a sophomore, but also his playmaking ability.
And let's flip the chart to the offensive side of the football, where that offensive line, it never hurts to have a veteran offensive line, does it, Coach?
I tell you, look at that group. They've been together for a while. They played in a lot of big games. They played against FBS, FCS opponents. Most of them are, have graduated and have their degree, but for the love of the game, they wanted to come back and play together. So we are very fortunate to have a strong group of senior leadership guys that have played in games in the offensive line. Coach Samus has done a good job with them as well. So we look forward for the offensive line being one of our strengths this year for our team.
Let's look briefly at the loyal opposition this weekend, the Cavaliers. What are their strengths? Have you seen in the game plan coming in?
Yeah, it starts with their quarterback. He's done a tremendous job, for them. Brennan Armstrong is a guy that can run the ball. He was their leading ground gainer. He can throw the ball. When you try to stack the defense up against stopping the run, then, he's got good enough, really good skilled players to throw the ball to. And so it's an offense that they'll take what you give them, but at the same time, they'll create mismatches through formations, through personnel in the game. They'll do different things to try to give you, issues. And they've done that, and they've created, and they've come out and they said, we want to be able to run the ball. And when you have a quarterback that can run the ball like Armstrong, then that helps a lot.
Coach, thanks for your time and good luck on Saturday night in Charlottesville.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks for having me.
Everything you know about Colonial Heritage is true. A beautiful golf course with exquisite dining and superb event space. But this is also true. You don't have to live there to play, dine, or celebrate there. So let Colonial Heritage be your host for a round, a meal, or a gathering. It's all true. You don't have to live there to enjoy being there. At Colonial Heritage, golf memberships are available. ColonialHeritageClub.com.
What does tomorrow look like? That's really up to us. By exploring what's ahead and learning from where we've been, we find ways to care and teach ourselves and others how to heal so that we can make life better by design.
Fun fact, Mountain Dew and spicy chicken is the perfect combo.
Does it look like I don't know that?
Okay. Didn't mean to ruffle your feathers.
We both did the employee training, Gary.
Okay, don't jump down my beak.
Doing spicy? Do the do.
I'm a product of the people, that are a part of my family. And I mean that both in the literal sense and those that have been a big part of my life for a long time. Some of those are the friends that I made at Dartmouth and some of the mentors that I've found afterwards in my professional career. But my family in particular has played such a special role in my life. My parents and the way that they raised us and their incredible focus on education. My two older brothers who would let me play with them but would not play easily with me forced me as a young kid to learn toughness and grit and resolve, because I was never going to beat them at those sports. But they're so supportive of this. Any win that we have as an individual is a family win. The response that they've had to this opportunity for me has been tremendous. I fully expect all of them to be season ticket holders here coming soon, so you'll see that. And then, of course, I've been able to add into that mix my beautiful wife, Hillary, who is the strongest person that I know, who believes in me in such a way that it gives me the belief that I can do things I never imagined. I'm so incredibly lucky to have her. And then, of course, we've added Russell to the mix. Russell's about 10 weeks old. And I waited a little bit. I think I got it started a little bit later in life, but he's already changed my perspective, and I can't wait to put him in green and gold. So I've been really lucky. I've had a lot of incredible leaders in my life, but I think, one of the first that really stands out to me was the head football coach at Severian, Charlie Stevenson. It also happens we grew up on the same street, which is pretty exciting. But I remember when I was a sophomore, it was my first time on varsity, and I remember we had back-to-back games, first against a really strong opponent, and then against an opponent that we should have beaten. And I remember the lessons he gave us that week, the first week, was you can never enter a field of play and expect to have success if you overestimate your opponent. They're just kids, they're just like us, they're just trying to win. And we had that mentality all week, and we won that game on Saturday, and it was incredible. And then the next week he had the same approach, but the message was you can't underestimate your opponent. And I just thought that lesson in life was incredible. And I've tried to apply it certainly for football as long as I played, but in many other things as well. And then the second lesson he taught, and I remember this was the first game I played in varsity, or dressed. I didn't play, but the first game that I dressed, we were getting ready in the weight room, which is where we did game days, and he came down and he said something along the lines of, you guys know that I'm a man of few words, but don't be afraid to make mistakes today. Play with abandon, you're ready. And I just remembered that he had prepared the team and we were ready. And getting that message right before you walked out on the field was incredibly powerful. I've never forgotten it. I was very lucky in that I learned an important lesson in high school. And when you're trying to be the starting quarterback and the Hasselbeck brothers are the two guys that are playing in front of you, you learn that you got to kick and fight and scratch to get your chance at some point. So I went to Dartmouth under no illusions that I would start right away. I figured I would have to take a similar approach. And I was really lucky that I got a chance to play as a freshman. I'm the first freshman in Dartmouth history to throw a touchdown pass. I was able to start my sophomore year and played sophomore, junior year. I got hurt junior year. I got a concussion, missed a few games. Another great lesson that I learned was I was pressing so hard. We were struggling a little bit as a football program, and I was trying to take it all on myself to help win, and I struggled. And I ended up missing some playing time as a result of it. And, because of an injury, I had an extra year of eligibility. I came back my fifth year and had a different perspective. That if I took the approach of trying to make everybody around me better as opposed to trying to do it all myself, we could have more success. And luckily we did. Anytime I talk to high school or college kids, the most important thing I've learned is when you get a job, when you get an opportunity, put your head down and work as hard as you can to be great at the thing you're asked to do. Other opportunities will come, chances to grow and expand. You have to advocate for yourself, of course, but the most important thing you can do is be great at the thing you're asked to do every day. I try to make that a hallmark of the way that I work with people, to consistently show up every day and try to do a great job at the thing you're asked to do. That's been the best lesson that I've learned, and I think that's what football is all about. You play once a week, and you've got to show up at practice and consistently be great at the thing you're asked to do. And you've got to rely on the people around you to be consistently great at the thing they do in order to have success. I learned that lesson then. I've tried to carry it with me throughout my life. I like to think about it in terms of a puzzle. And this is one of the things that I talk about when people ask me, that if you're trying to find professional fulfillment and satisfaction, you've got to figure out what's the right kind of puzzle you want to solve. And for me, what I love about being a college athletics administrator is the puzzle is, here are primarily the pieces you have. How do you set them up in a way to have as much success across as many programs as possible? How do you strategically invest a little bit in different areas every way to try to provide the greatest experiences you can to student athletes? I love that. And though I love football and everything about it, I played a bunch of sports growing up. My siblings played a bunch of sports growing up. And I love the values and the life lessons that athletics teach. And though I was drawn to football, and that's where I spent my time, and that's what provided my access and opportunities, those lessons can be learned in a whole bunch of sports. And that's why I love supporting as many of them as possible. An investment in William & Mary Athletics is an investment in some of the best and brightest young people in our country. They're going to come to a place like this, and they're going to look to us to help them grow into the very best versions of themselves. They've made a commitment to us. We owe a similar commitment to them to make sure that when they leave, they're able to go on and change the world.
Do you believe that higher education plays a critical role in our economy? Do you believe Virginia should be the top state in the country for talent? That Virginia should be the home for innovators and entrepreneurs? That our colleges, universities, and community colleges should prepare Virginians for great jobs and great lives? That we should provide affordable access for all? We are the Growth for Virginia campaign. Visit growthforva.com to join our coalition.
Burgers, better with Pepsi.
Life's an adventure. Celebrate it with the Langley Pays checking account. Earn 10 cents with every debit card purchase, 10% interest rebate on loan payments, and get your paycheck up to 3 days early. With Langley, you'll never stop celebrating.
Everything you know about colonial heritage is true. A beautiful golf course with exquisite dining and superb event space. But this is also true. You don't have to live there to play, dine, or celebrate there. So let Colonial Heritage be your host for a round, a meal, or a gathering. It's all true. You don't have to live there to enjoy being there. At Colonial Heritage, golf memberships are available. ColonialHeritageClub.com.
This one's for every sports fan who just spent the entire game explaining to someone the entire game. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
The Tribe Student Athlete of the Week, presented by the Virginia Lottery, recognizes William & Mary student athletes for their standout efforts in competition, the classroom, and the community. The inaugural Tribe Student Athlete of the Week, presented by the Virginia Lottery, is volleyball graduate student Julia Brown. Brown led the Tribe to a 2-0 start with dominating 3-0 wins over Western Illinois and Air Force last week at the Husky Invitational hosted by Northern Illinois. Brown totaled 10 kills and 3 blocks against Western Illinois before posting 11 kills and 3 blocks in a sweep of Air Force. Those performances earned her CAA Offensive Player of the Week honors. An all-CAA first-team selection during the spring season, Brown graduated with her undergraduate degree in biology in May and returned to William & Mary to pursue her MBA.
At William & Mary, we strive to be more than we are and to do more than we've ever done. Here, we do not live in the shadows of the giants of American history that we helped to shape. We stand on their shoulders, reaching higher, looking further, and leading the way forward. To be a place where history happens every day, and to be a university for the bold.
Fun fact, Mountain Dew and spicy chicken is the perfect combo.
Does it look like I don't know that?
Okay. Didn't mean to ruffle your feathers.
You know, we both did the employee training, Gary.
Okay, don't jump down my beak.
Doing spicy? Do the do.
Everything you know about colonial heritage is true. A beautiful golf course with exquisite dining and superb event space. But this is also true. You don't have to live there to play, dine, or celebrate there. So let Colonial Heritage be your host for a round, a meal, or a gathering. It's all true. You don't have to live there to enjoy being there. At Colonial Heritage, golf memberships are available. ColonialHeritageClub.com.
What does tomorrow look like? That's really up to us. By exploring what's ahead and learning from where we've been, we find ways to care and teach ourselves and others how to heal so that we can make life better by design.
Welcome back to Tribe Talk. With us is a very special guest, Cara Mingus, the captain of the Tribe's field hockey team. And first of all, Cara, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
You know, I said captain. I should have said three-time captain of the field hockey team. What an honor that is. What a testimony to your leadership ability. What does it mean to you?
It's definitely something that I don't take lightly at all. I think it's really special to me that my teammates throughout the past 3 years have put that trust in me to lead this team. It definitely came as a surprise to me, especially my sophomore year getting that role. But I think each year I've grown in that role, and I'm just lucky to be able to help lead my team.
So what are some of the job duties, if you will, of being the captain of particularly this year's field hockey team?
I think it's definitely shifted from my sophomore year to my senior year because in the past I've always had some older teammates who have kind of led the way in my eyes, and I also looked up to them. I think this year especially, lead by example, work really, really hard on the field, try to make the locker room environment as close-knit as possible, making everyone feel comfortable, especially the freshmen coming in. I think this year's group is really special because we've been able to get really close really quickly. And so my job is just to make sure everyone's doing okay and knowing that they have people that are here for them and care about them.
You've had a wonderful career so far, going into this your senior year. Tell us some of the goals, not only for Cara Mingus, but also for your team.
Well, I think the main goal is performing really well in the CAA tournament, hopefully coming away with winning the whole thing and then making it to the NCAA tournament. That's kind of always the goal that Tess, our head coach, gives us in the beginning of the season. I think coming off of our first loss of the season, just getting better every single game, and just most importantly playing well together and figuring out the best ways that we can gel as a team.
Virginia coming up this weekend. How important is it to perform against a team you probably followed growing up, being from Richmond?
Yeah, it's definitely a big game coming up. In the past, we've been able to hang with them. Unfortunately, never actually winning. I remember we've been to double overtime with them. So we've had some really competitive games, and I think this year we're playing them twice. So we have 2 times to try to prove ourselves against them. They're obviously a really strong team, but we're going to go out there, treat them like we would any other game, and hopefully bring a win home to the Tribe over UVA for the first time in a while.
You know, I want to direct folks' attention to Tribe Scribe. Dave Johnson is a wonderful writer and works with William and Mary. And he wrote an article on you recently, and I had a question developed. Your family throughout enjoys playing with sticks. Explain that a little bit.
Yep. So every single person in my family has played a college sport with a stick in their hand. Field hockey for my mom, ice hockey for my dad, field hockey for me and my sister, and then lacrosse for my brother. So I don't know why we chose those sports in particular, but I guess we all just wanted to play something in college and make the most of it. And everyone before me has had a pretty darn good career, so I'm hoping to finish mine strong.
And you are continuing that relationship as well. So quite a legacy here at William & Mary from your family also.
Yeah, so my older sister went here. She graduated in 2018. She had an awesome career, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, among a lot of other awards. And I think just she had such a great career that I looked up to her a lot and wanted to not necessarily prove myself, but just make my own impact here. I don't think anyone has really compared us too much that I've felt daunted by the task of being like my sister, but she definitely is a great role model to me, and I look up to her a lot for everything she did here.
And what's your major? I know you're a senior, going to be graduating, and what are you majoring in?
I'm a government major, so don't necessarily want to go the political route, but I've enjoyed my classes here in the government department, and so I just went with that major, and I've really liked it so far.
Yeah, well, learning how the government works is never a bad thing. So what do you want to do? What do you think you got your eyes set postgraduate at William & Mary?
So I'm hoping to play abroad next year, studying and playing field hockey, particularly in Ireland. So that's kind of all I have on my radar right now. After that, I don't really have any plans of what I want to do. I'm really interested in community health or the education route. So hopefully I'll find my way with something of the sorts.
Cara Mingus is our guest. She's an outstanding field hockey player under head coach Tess Ellis. What's it like playing for Tess, a real legend here in Williamsburg for all things coaching?
I think if you ask anyone, even if they don't know her, they'll say Tess is a legend and she's awesome. She treats everyone with kindness, especially her players. I think we all feel like it's a big family, and she's our mom. She will go to any length to take care of us. She doesn't take field hockey too seriously. I was just having a conversation with her, and she was saying how coaching, it's not just about winning, it's about making your players' experiences the best they can be for the 4 or 5 years that they're here. So I definitely don't take it for granted that she's my head coach, and I feel really, really lucky to have her. And I know that every other player that has played for her probably feels the same way.
3-time captain Cara Mingus has been our guest on Tribe Talk. Cara, thanks so much and continued success.
Thank you so much.